What profession attracts the worst kind of people? Story 1, Lawyer here. I agree, but surprisingly, what I've learned is that construction is way more of a cesspool. Mistresses with corporate credit cards paying their rent, brothers suing brothers, not paying overtime, as required by statutes, just fraud of every kind I can imagine. Seriously, never trust a general contractor or even subcontractors. They spend more time lying than working, other than the rare good ones. Also, all kinds of people turn into the worst kind of people when someone dies and everyone starts fighting over the inheritance. Fucking gross, have some class. Story 2, Management Consulting. I worked in that belly of a beast for a bit, and I realized I couldn't get along or fit in for good reason. To be fair, there are some good people that end up leaving in exit opportunities, but I'm suspicious of people who soak their ethos in that type of culture and stay for a long time. It takes a special type of person to uphold a certain value and belief system to enjoy working overnight selling work to clients that frankly amounts to PowerPoint slides heavily lifted from another client project, only to be scrapped. Nothing feels proprietary, yet we sell like it is. We often made jokes that it didn't really feel anything was of value. Treat colleagues, clients, managers, everyone all the same in the level of customer/client facing personality. I get faking it is important in life, but I've seen people adopt whole 180 personas just to fit in, 24/7, 365. People judge you immensely, and in order to succeed and be put onto good projects, you needed to hide anything about your brand as a liability. Being likable, I'd argue, is more important in some cases than doing a good job. Accept the reality that they can be fired in an up or out culture where people who aren't promoted are asked to leave. IMHO Consulting is a marketing machine with a questionable value proposition. If you enjoy titles, money, no sleep, and health downfalls with soulless work, it attracts you. Story 3, HR. What the F is it about HR people? The ones close to management are two-headed snakes waiting to bite you in the ass. The ones in recruiting are just incompetent. At one company I was at, a recruiter went on vacation but didn't reschedule any of their interviews. I thought that was messed up until I went to a different company, and it happened again. Multiple times. Maybe they just know how hard it is to get fired because they're the people that do the firing. Story 4, Policing. Get paid to be a thug, use up half of your town's budget to sit around in a $100,000 SUV, go after the poor and homeless instead of criminals because criminals are dangerous and scary, potentially collect a second paycheck from the local crime boss for your part in actively undermining the justice system. Real estate sales, but for rich Karens. Act as a useless middleman most of the time, complain your job is too hard when the opportunity arises to actually be useful, hilarious conflicts of interests that would be illegal in any other industry, real estate, investing, people who want easy money with no work or contribution to society. Let their buildings rot because maintenance cuts into profit, block construction of more buildings to keep competition artificially scarce. Believe it or not, I'm not actually inherently opposed to landlords. But the modern real estate landscape definitely attracts the scum of the earth. Story 5, Middle School Teachers. A teacher got the whole class to bully me for my eyelashes being too long for a boy in 7th grade, and another started making fun of my hair, which was a high top that looked frizzy since I was too stressed about studying to care, in the middle of a final. A few teachers just laughed when my classmates gladly showed them the messages they wrote me telling to KMS online, and the principal took every second to embarrass me in front of the whole school as he could. When I cried out about all the bullying, my school instead sent me to the psych ward at the local hospital claiming that I was going to KMS so people would think I was a crazy liar when I tried to tell them about what happened in the school. When I convinced the doctor that I was sane and not to throw me in a room with a paper-thin blanket, I got to go to school the next day, and when I came everyone was asking why wasn't I in the psych ward. A popular kid even wrote a play about me where he made fun of me for being poor and not owning 3 Jordans, 2 gaming laptops, and 3 iPhones like he had, and the teachers laughed and let him perform it in front of the whole school, and in the end he was supposed to throw me in a trash can, but I broke the script and ran off stage crying. Story 6, Not so much profession, but I'm finding schools to be really weird. I've never worked in a school before, but quickly finding it's like they are their own countries. Beaches of privacy everywhere, teachers using mobile phones in class to text, admin doing things that are way behind their pay grade. I could go on and on. What I've found is there is a real lack of connectedness among her people who aren't teachers. Teachers stick together, and then there's everyone else. Doesn't matter what our role is: social work, psychologist, well-being officer, admin, there just isn't a team feeling. It can be a toxic environment. Story 7. The beautiful equality-filled truth is that there are assholes and angels everywhere. We're all terrible. I've worked in healthcare my entire adult life, a profession in which you'd hope there'd be a guaranteed majority default of balanced, reflective, patient, prudent, compassionate, egalitarian individuals. And they do exist, but they aren't the majority default you'd assume. Story 8. The worst kinds of people are often attracted to the business of real estate. I recently had an experience with a real estate agent that personifies this idea. It all started when I decided to put in an offer on a house I had fallen in love with. I contacted a real estate agent, and he promised to take care of everything for me. I should have known I was in trouble when he never showed up to our initial meeting. The next time I heard from him, he told me that my offer had been accepted. This was great news, but then he proceeded to tell me that he wanted me to pay him an extra fee in order to make the deal happen. When I refused, he threatened to withdraw the offer and told me that he could easily find another buyer. Needless to say, I was extremely disappointed in his behavior. This real estate agent showed that he was only in the business for his own personal gain and had no concern for the well-being of his clients.